Discerning truth and intuition. My name is Eileen Burns. I'm a soul empowerment coach. I'm a healer and a spiritual business strategist. And today I'm going to be talking about how to discern truth, okay? How to discern intuition and why it's so difficult for so many people at the moment to discern truth, and some of the things that we should consider that can get in the way of truth and can get in the way of our intuition and cause chaos and confusion. So one of the things that I know as someone who is being extremely sensitive, a large part of my life, and what you would call highly empathic, is that being highly empathic and highly sensitive is I've often recognized patterns in people, patterns in things and energy that other people didn't notice. And being someone who studied healing very young and studied lots of different types of healing, and how could you say, really went deep with some subjects and went seeking answers, was one of the things was that I recognized how disconnected most people were from their intuition. I was very fortunate. I had a father who encouraged us to listen to our gut. And I would say some of my siblings, aligned with that more than some of others. Being someone who was also creative, and often quite highly creative, you tend to be more likely to move away in creative ways of looking at the world. And I was someone that needed lots of decisions, more emotion, right? And what I mean is, I know emotionally can mean that you're just making it out of fear or whatever, but no, what I mean is I would feel into things, right? But I would use my intuition. If something didn't feel right, I would get out in most cases. But like everyone, I had situations in my life that I had to learn over and over about intuition, because there's a fine line between having intuition and listening to those intuitive nudges and guidance, and also question yourself, question am I right or is someone wrong, or this kind of thing. And I'm going to give you some examples. So one of the things where I had a mixture of intuitive but also gave my power away was in relation to my health. From a young age, I had lots of really rare and all sorts of bizarre things that happened. And I went down the holistic route. I naturally did not want to be a pill popper. I didn't want to get surgeries that were unnecessary, or if I could find a more natural and holistic solution, that's what I wanted to do. I did not want to put myself in situations that could cause more complications. And I would say from an innate aspect of me, being someone that from very young wanted to feel free and was so sensitive to so many things around me, even like I seem to be able to, if there was a toxin in the area, I would become sensitive to it. It's almost like my antenna was so sensitive. I would notice things and experience things to a high degree that other people didn't. And on one hand, that gave me an advantage that I sensed when things weren't healthy. But on another hand, it meant that a lot of things were overwhelming for me. But one of the things that this helped me do, particularly because my mom encouraged us to be very creative. My mom was a creative person, and it encouraged me to explore lots of creative things. And one of the things that this helped me do, when you're creative, you channel things, you're intuitive, you go by your inner guidance. And I was very lucky when I was younger that I got to explore my creative aspects, right? And I was encouraged to be intuitive. So I had experiences, some really not nice experiences, but experiences. I remember one situation where I'll share you briefly, but I was working in a place and they kept sending me to this place. I'm not saying what it was, but they kept sending me somewhere. I don't want to give too much away, but basically I was getting sent to somewhere where to do a favor for them, right? And it was to deliver something and pick up something. And basically, this place, the person who owned this place, I always got it was like running, it would be like cold running through my spine and my gut. And it wasn't just gut, because I think, my father talks about gut, but I think it's not just to do with gut. I think there can be different things here, I think that sometimes can confuse things for people, but it would be just something, it would come, my intuitive nudges that were really clear would come very quick and fast, and it was almost like, no, that's not good. And I would try and get out of the situation and try and explain that I felt uncomfortable, and they laughed and thought I was being silly. Until a situation where I was left somewhere else. I went to do an event with this company, and they basically left me abandoned in somewhere. It was quite isolated, which I didn't realise. It's a long story, but we were doing an event and I came back at this place. We were dressing models up for a photo shoot, and basically when I come back, this person was left to take me home, and basically really started to frighten me on my way home. But luckily, before this situation, because I knew he was going to be there, the guy I was seeing at the time, I told him I was very young and he was my kind of first boyfriend, but I kind of said to him, I was like kind of first kind of what you would call more serious boyfriends. And I'd said to him about the situation, and I actually gave him his registration of his car and had said to him that I really found I was kind of scared of him. Now, it was those days we didn't have a mobile phone, but I remember him kind of saying to me that he could do things and certain things to me nobody would know. And I remember telling him, it's okay, I went and told my boyfriend if I'm not home by a certain time and he's got your car number, blah, blah, blah. Now, he'd actually met my boyfriend, and thankfully, he was a tall guy, a big guy, a guy that, he'd done Taekwondo at the time. So there was not going to be, he's less likely to do something. But these are small things that happen in our lives that intuition are in our compass. And there's also been situations where I've had just know things, the weirdest, bizarrest things I've just known. And the next thing, it comes to fruition. Also, my friends, particularly my spiritual friends, will maybe say something and I'll just say something off the back. And then the next thing, something happens, I'll say, God, nothing gets past you. It's almost like a sense of knowing. Now, that doesn't mean that I get everything 100% right. But what that has meant that through the years, I've built up confidence of trusting myself. And some of the areas where I gave my power over, and I must admit sometimes I do struggle with, is because of sometimes we have areas in our life that we're not always objective. And as a therapist, and someone that's trained in lots of modalities and counselling and all sorts of things, I understand that everyone has shadow elements and things about themselves that they don't always see. So when I went for other help, because I do believe that even though there's no answers within ourselves, sometimes we need help. We have blockages, we have challenges. But one of the things that I found very early on in my life, particularly, was everyone had their opinion. Lots of healers and therapists, even when I didn't ask, when I would meet people, and even when I started helping people with their business, people would all have their opinion, a lot of them wanted to heal me, wanted to make their client, wanted to do this. And often, what they would say was their intuition. If I had went with everybody who said, well, this is what their intuition was telling me, and they were adamant that, I always joke about this, I'd be like 100, 200 different types of personalities and all sorts of things. And some of the things that were said to me were so insane, they couldn't be true, right? Wasn't possible, some of the things that were said. And thankfully, I learned discernment. I learned the importance of discerning what they believe is the truth and their intuition and what feels right for me. And what I learned to have more respect for and appreciation for was the healers and therapists said, only take what fits, but also did not push it into my energy field. What I discovered was there's lots of people who like to be very forceful and very opinionated. And particularly when it's something that people are quite vulnerable with, I feel. And because of their ego, they think they know everything, that they push it into the client's field and are very adamant, which can actually can cause more problems. So in that area, I have to be honest, I felt sometimes a wee bit traumatized by some of it, and it's made me more cautious about just investing in anyone and being far more guarded about who invest in and who I get guidance from, right? And it's not just about taking things personally, it's about doing what's right for me, right? But that's been something I've had to work on it because it's an area of a vulnerability, right? So when we are, tapping into an intuition and trying to explore truth, right, from an intuitive perspective first, if we cannot recognize the shadow elements that are in us and the things that we have vulnerabilities and weaknesses in, that can influence our discernment. Now, intuitive nudges tend to be in the way that most people, even though we can all sense it differently, intuition tends to come, it's not like a trigger. And this is for people who get triggered by a personality or triggered by something that's going on in society. And then they think that just because of that it's intuition. That's a trigger, completely different. When our intuition is something that, for example, I get sometimes just an inner knowing, and my inner knowing doesn't tend to come, even though I love to meditate and do things and use that to help me get more what I call soul connected, and I use certain strategies. One of the things that I would say is often my inner knowing comes at the strangest times. I've got to say washing the dishes. I'm not really great washing the dishes if a dishwasher, but anyway, what I mean is just doing everyday activities, doing something, right? I could be doing something about it and moving about, and then the next thing is just a knowing comes in, right? And it's like someone giving me information, right? And the bizarrest things, and even if you think about the COVID situation, there's lots of things that happen with me that comes in, and when people mention things, I would either get like a shiver up my back or I would get annoying about certain things. Now, the more that you use your intuitive muscles and you do a lot of creative things, that helps your intuition. But what gets in the way is our ego, our fear, and our thoughts and our beliefs about certain things. Because when you're in your intuitive state, you have to think abstract, be able to take the information and be and in some ways objective, but be open to it's almost be more open to an abstract way of thinking, be open to get information that completely goes against what you would believe on a logical perspective. And one of the things, this is the biggest problem that people are having with truth right now, is what they think they see and what they think they know is not matching up to maybe something that's going on in their intuition. And the last 4 or 5 years is a good example of that, that things are not always what they seem. And, thankfully, the masses are waking up, and masses of people are starting to recognise, for example, that the media does not tell people truth, that there is so many things that are just a narrative, right? And I'll give you one other example, which you might find helpful, is one of the things that I recognised even in the therapy and healing industry was there was lots of common beliefs held. And lots of people would make these quotes and say, well, this is truth or this is fact, or, lots of books about certain subjects. But one of the things that I like to do when I study something, I like to get different angles on it, and I like to go and do the research. And what I discovered was many, many books out there, the things that were quoting, when you actually looked at the research, that wasn't really quite accurate, or the research, the actual research, our evidence was very poor, and it wasn't actually based on truth. But the problem is most people today are very lazy. It's like when you see something in the media, people don't go and look up the truth, or are not willing to look at other things. So when we want to explore truth, of course, we have to learn to trust intuition, but the art of discernment is the ability to step back and be objective and not get emotional, because often we're so emotionally attached to certain opinions, our beliefs, because something else will challenge our identity and challenge our ego. And if we're just trying to prove something and prove that we're right, or if we're just trying to prove something to ourselves because it feels more comfortable, we're actually not willing to look at the truth. Now, if you would love more support or help in this area, I have some courses that help with intuition, and it's also something that I can help you with in a one-to-one basis. Okay, if you need some help in this area, I'll put the details below. But remember, intuition does start with you. Discernment is something that takes time, and it's the ability for us to detach what we want to believe about something and what would be more comfortable to believe, and the ability to challenge our previous belief systems and not get too attached to an outcome that we want a certain way. Okay, have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.